Welcome everybody to my free marketing masterclass, Content That Converts. My name is Colaiacovo, and I'm going to spend the next hour with you showing you some of my tried and true and proven steps and ways that you can create marketing content that will get more clients into your programs and services. So my goal here for you today is to have you leave at the end of this session with some actionable steps. And if you've downloaded the handout and you have that there, you can write some of your aha moments, your notes, put in things that are particular to your business as well, and make sure that you are, staying on top of what we're doing here and putting down what you're thinking about for your business as we go through these lessons today. So feel free to connect with me as well on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn as my name, Colaiacovo. So you can Google me on or search for me on LinkedIn as well. And I'd love for you to say hello, say hi afterwards, connect with me and let me know how it went in the session, what you got the most out of it, and what was your best tip or strategy that you learned from what we're doing here today. And I do thank you so much for investing an hour of your time today with me. And as a little thank you for what you set aside today in your schedule to join me, I'm going to give everyone who's here live on the call a special marketing tip sheet at the end of the session. And there's also going to be a draw for a prize for one of my digital products. So I have several different online training programs, a Canva training program, a content planner, that's an annual content planner. I have a ConvertKit training program. If you ever know anybody looking to learn more about using ConvertKit, which is an email marketing system. And then I have my Inner Circle membership and my Content Marketing Masters Academy as well. So I'm going to be giving away one of those at the end of the session, not all of them. And I'm not going to tell you which one. We'll hold it off to the end. All right, so everybody I think has got their handout here. Natasha will put it in the chat again for you if you didn't grab it and you're coming in a little bit late. So here's our little roadmap for today. I just want to give you a little plan of what I'm going to cover in the next hour. So we're going to start off with something that I think is really important for everybody to know and understand before you do your marketing. Once you understand this relationship that I call the content marketing edge, it helps you plan your marketing a lot better in a way that you actually get more results from what you're doing. Then we're going to look at those 3 C's, and I'm going to teach you what I call the 3 C's of content that converts. So I'm going to teach you those actionable steps of things you can do with your marketing content to make a change in what happens with them and actually have them working and having the stuff that you're creating for your marketing and the content that you're putting out online do something for your business as opposed to being a waste of time, which is a very common issue that I hear from lots of service-based business owners. They spend their time on their marketing and it does nothing. So I'm going to show you some steps of what you can do today and give you some tips on how you can level up your knowledge of marketing and what you do with your marketing as well. I've got a special marketing tip sheet I'm going to hand out to everybody at the end. Then I'm going to share an extra bonus tactic for you. This will be something that will help you save a lot of time when it comes to your marketing. And then, of course, we're going to do a draw for the prize and have some Q&A at the end of the session as well. So as we get going here, it would be great for you to kind of turn off all your distractions that you have there. Make sure you're not multitasking so that you can pay attention to what's going on in the session here. And just to reassure you that you're going to spend a good hour here with me. If you market your business online or have a service or a program, different things like that, or you feel like your marketing is not working for your business, this session is one that I've created specifically for folks like you, people that are looking to do more with their marketing and really have your marketing work so that you can have it lead to getting more clients. For most of us, that is one of our big goals in business, is to have clients on a regular basis so that we can keep in business and not have to go back to getting a job, because that's something a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we don't want to do. We enjoy the freedom that we've got and the power to choose who we work with, when we work with, and how we work with them. So just something to keep in mind. That is possible to do. And my goal for you today is to teach you some of these little tactics. For those that don't know me, my name is Colaiacovo. I'm an online marketing strategist, and I'm the president at Pepperit Marketing Services. I'm the founder of the Content Marketing Masters Academy, and I like to refer to myself as a creative marketer. So I like to make sure people understand how to do their marketing and give them ideas and different ways to do it as well, and really empower you to do more with your marketing by understanding how it all works and how the dots connect. I do like to laugh and have fun, and I'm also the creator of the hashtag Kathy's Kitchen Moments. So if you ever want to search that on Facebook, you will find epic episodes of me having disasters in the kitchen as I attempt to make all the great food that I do for my family. It's very interesting because my issue is typically getting distracted in the kitchen or thinking ways of something's going to work when it doesn't. Just little incidents, like for instance, I learned last year that you don't make buttermilk. If you don't have it, you cannot substitute melted butter in milk to make buttermilk. That's not actually how it works. Anyhow, that'll give you a little bit of laughs if you're ever looking for that when you look it on there. I am the queen of typos. My fingers don't seem to work as in the same way as my brain, and things pass over there. So I guarantee that you will probably see a typo here in my presentation. I'm always checking it. I have my VAs check it. We go through it. Then often I'll go back to make a little change or an update or something. And usually doing it too fast, going too fast, don't get it rechecked. And so I can almost promise you that there's a typo in there. But for me, I guess what I would say to you is don't focus on typos or different things like that. Focus on what I'm trying to teach you and what's coming out of there. So focus on what we're looking to learn and teach and share with you here. But, feel free to let me know if there's one there, because I always want to make sure that I'm changing those. I may be a slightly obsessed person with Kevin Costner. You probably see him here in my background. Got a little standout one of my clients sent to me one time. And I'm also a mom of 3 boys. They're all grown up. They're 21, 22, and 25 now. And then 4 if you count my husband, Marco. I take care of all of them. And then we have 2 rescue dogs. One of them is Pepper, who we saw over here. And my other dog is Lola. She's an elder dog. She's about 15 now. And we just love having them in our family. And they keep us inspired to stay active is one thing I find. You have dogs, you got to walk them. So moving on to today, I'm going to also introduce near the end of this session a little bit about my Content Marketing Masters Academy. So if you'll indulge in me when we get there, I'd love to tell you a little bit about that and try to share that with you as we go through the program here. So one of the things I want you to think about is I want you to sit back and imagine what would your business look like when you have things really working well and your marketing's working and the time you spend in your marketing is going great. When I do that with my business and my clients, these are some of the things that we've actually had happen. So, I have one client that's receiving a new consult every week. She's got people reaching out to her looking to book an appointment and to get in the door. I had another client when she was following the steps that we were doing and making changes that I had suggested with what she did with her marketing. She actually filled her new group program in 4 weeks, and she had to actually start another one faster than she imagined she would have, because it is something that, she was going to do another launch for it and have another group later on, but she got such a large waiting list, she actually ended up running a group faster. So some of these listed here on this slide are some of the things that I've helped some of the students in my marketing membership program and my other Content Marketing Masters Academy groups that I've run before. These are things that I've helped them do by changing what they're doing with their marketing. And that's what I want to help you do and get started with today, is making a couple of those small basic changes that will get you started on a new path. And you really can have some of these things happen to you when you're creating that marketing content that converts. So that's the big thing that you want to look at and focus on, is what you can do with your marketing to make sure that what you're putting out online is doing its job for you, which ultimately is to bring you more website traffic, to get more leads to your business, and to get you more clients and more sales. So let's get started here. And the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I really feel everybody needs to understand as a background to marketing. When you get this information that I'm going to share with you in a second, you will understand a little bit better how important all the different pieces of your marketing is and how it all connects together to work. And this is what I like to refer to as the content marketing edge. So when you understand these three concepts and how the dots connect between each one, you'll understand better how to prep and prepare your marketing and put it out there online and publish it so that you're getting improved results. So there's three areas that we look at with this: website pages, marketing content, and the search engines, which I often refer to as the Google, just so you know. Sometimes I just can't help myself. It comes out, and that's just how I'll refer to it. So when we look at website pages, what you need to understand there is a page on your website indeed is a website page, but a blog post on your website is also a page on your website. The link to an image on your website that you uploaded on there to put maybe in a blog or on a page also has a link on your website, and it's kind of its own page in its own way. So understanding that all of these different ways of putting content onto your website is actually you putting new pages onto your website. So whether it's a blog post, if you do a podcast and you do show notes for that, so you do a recap of the podcast and put it on there, it's kind of like a blog as well. It's just some people prefer to do the podcast over a written blog. But every time you post one of those pages up there, you've got new content there for the search engines to register and recognize and index in their back end. When we talk about marketing content, I'm talking about the content you'll post on your website, the content you're going to post on social media, and content that you would put and include in emails. So typically email marketing lists is what I'm talking about when I refer to this, when we talk about email marketing content. So those are the three types of main marketing content that we typically look at when we're talking about the content marketing edge. So you've got your website with the content on there, but you also have marketing content on social media and in your emails. And how they all connect with the Google and create that relationship I call the content marketing edge is, here's what you need to understand. The marketing content you post on your website gets indexed by the search engines, or can't. There's ways you can help that along as well. When you do that, it gives your website the opportunity to be shown as a result to somebody doing a search online. So when somebody goes online and Googles, how do I do XXX? The goal that you would love to have with your marketing content is that your page shows up as the answer. I actually had this happen a couple of weeks ago. I was in a training program I'm part of. And when I got on, my coach that does the training said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here." I actually wrote a blog about this a couple of weeks ago. He said, "I was doing a search the other day for something on Google and one of your blogs came up as the top answer." He said, "That's awesome." And that's what you want to happen. You want to put marketing content on your website that the search engines can find, so that somewhere along the way you connect all those dots. And when somebody's searching for something, the search engines will actually show them your website as the result. And when I talk about doing this, I'm not talking about doing it with Google Ads. Everything that I've done with this and taught and done with my clients, I don't run Google Ads. I've tried to learn them on my own, put it out there. I definitely don't want to be a Google Ads expert and be the person who's going to get you on the top page of Google when you pay me X amount of money. That's not the way that I look at this. So I'm looking at it from a very organic way that any business owner, when you know how these three things work and you know how to create content that will do part of that job, you're really upping the chance that the search engines are going to find you. And there's lots of other ways to help it along, but you just need to understand that basic connection there and that circle of Google, content, website, and understanding that those all connect there, because it's all going to help your business. And the best way that you can use this content marketing edge is to create and publish marketing content on your website and send people there from your online marketing activities. So sending them there from social media, sending them there from doing email marketing, sending them there from going to a networking event and sharing a link to your website, because most of them are virtual right now. It would be sending them there from your business card. So all of that is parts of this content marketing edge. So I just want to make sure everybody understands there's a connection between all of those. So give me a holler and let me know that in the chat there, if that makes sense to you and if it's kind of clear on what I'm getting at there. And then I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat here as I'm looking at it as well. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, now here's where we come into the issue. It's all clear, but like most coaches I work with, dietitians, virtual assistants, and other service-based businesses, typically you're terrified of marketing. It stresses you out. You don't like it. You don't enjoy it. And so you're not necessarily thinking about what you want to be doing strategically with your marketing. And that's where I want to change that a little bit with you. I want you to learn how to use this content marketing edge to get more clients. So we're going to do a little review of what I call the 3 C's of creating marketing content so that it converts. And I'm going to talk to you about different ways that you can change the marketing content that you're doing so that it helps you work with that edge to get more people seeing what you've got out there. Yeah, Lori's saying marketing is stressful and usually expensive. Exactly. And it doesn't even have to be expensive in the way of you paying for it. It's even your time that you put into it. If you're wasting that, I find that's a good way to look at it as being expensive as well. So this is where you can pull out your handout that you've got there. This is the first C of creating content that converts. You want to be creating effective marketing content for your business. And I know that sounds pretty, well, duh. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't think about this and don't think about planning and putting specific things into their marketing content so that it actually works, okay? One of the things that you have to understand is that your content has to have a purpose and a goal. It needs to speak to your ideal client, and you're going to need to use some of their words that they're used to using and not yours. As the experts, most of us have different terms and terminology and phrases that we use that you can consider kind of your inside language and your secret knowledge of what you have to offer. And your clients don't always know what those terms are when you're starting to work with them. And when they're out there online looking for help, they're often using their own words to describe what they're looking for. So that's why you have to think about planning effective content to make this happen. And when you're looking at your marketing content, there's 3 things that they should be doing. They should be amplifying, which is basically your message and the reach and you trying to reach people. They should be your content should be encouraging people to convert. So when I say convert, I mean to convert to a lead, to convert to a website visitor, to convert to being somebody part of your online community. So following you, liking, commenting on that type of thing, and doing something with you so that you're engaging with them. So when you're looking at your marketing content, you want to make sure that it is doing these 3 things: amplifying your message and reaching people, converting to leads and sales, and engaging your community. So as you plan it out, you have to be thinking about these things. And that's why I say you have to have content with a purpose and a goal. You cannot be posting random acts of content. This is where everybody wastes the most amount of time. So hands up, or just put number 1 in the chat if typically your marketing is done by you coming online, going onto the internet, whether it's on your phone, I don't know where I put my phone, or your phone or your computer, and just going, I'm going to post today. What am I going to post? Or are you planning it out? So yeah, so just let me know with the number 1 if you're random, or number 2 if you do more planning. That's my secret way of getting a drink in too. All right, so we've got most 1.5. I've got there a couple 2s, mostly 1s that are in here. And so here's the thing, what you really need to stop doing, there is space for random acts of content, but for the most part, I don't want that to be what you're doing. You need to be thinking about it and planning it. It's not to say that you can't be spontaneous, but you have to have a good overall presence with your marketing content. A lot of your goals with your content are typically going to want to lead people to your website. They're going to typically want to get them to become a lead on your email marketing list, or like I said, a follower, a connection. It's also going to help build your credibility. It's going to build that know, like, trust factor, which when we're a service-based business, That is critical for people making a decision on working with us. And ultimately, you want this content that you create to lead to sales. So you have to create content with a purpose. So when you're thinking about putting content out there, it can't just all be random, because you will probably more often than not do more of one type than another. I like to categorize content as business, sales, and persona. So that's when I'm out there, talking, networking to people. And a lot of times when I do assessments, I will find someone is either all sales or no sales, or they're all persona and nothing else. So planning and taking the time to have a goal to the kind of content that you're creating will help you waste less time, get it done in less time as well, and have it achieve some of those goals that you've set for it. The other thing that you need in creating effective content is it has to speak to your ideal client. If you are skipping over your ideal client and you are not planning content that would appeal to them and that would speak to them, you're really missing the mark here. Now, a big part of this is knowing your client. And this is a phrase that we used to do back in the bank when I worked there years and years ago. Know your client. You have to know your client. They used to call it KYC. I've never lost that. I think that's been over 20 years that I worked over 20 years. Ideally, you should have an ideal client profile where you know all the details about your client. You know their problems, you know their issues, you know the things they like to do, you know the words they use. All of that put together is really going to help you plan your own content in a way that it will appeal to them. You'll know how to talk to them. You'll know how to say different words that they're looking at. And once you've got that part of it down, the other thing that you want to do is you want to pepper in keywords and hashtags into your marketing content. Now, a lot of people get stuck on what are keywords, especially. Hashtags most people are knowing about these days. But a keyword is really a word or a phrase that can be used as a search engine on a search engine. So somebody might look for it in there. Pointedly and strategically, you'll put it in the back end of your website as part of your search engine optimization tactics. But ultimately, what you want to think about, a keyword for me is a word or a phrase that people use when they think about me and my services. What are the words they use to describe me? If I'm in a specific location in a brick and mortar, my location is actually going to be part of my keywords. So you have to think about what are some of these words and phrases people are going to be using when they're looking for you. Now, I didn't really see at the beginning a lot of people post like what kind of business they have. But I know typically who comes to these sessions that I do, I get usually a lot of dietitians, nutritionists, coaches, and virtual assistants. That's part of my ideal client profile. So when you think about dietitians in particular, this is one of the best examples I can give you about using their words. So there are a lot of dietitians that practice in the intuitive eating field. So they're all about non-diets. They're all about health at every size, body positivity. It's what they do. And they teach people how to be healthy, be happy with themselves without being on a diet, because diets don't work. Typically, when people go looking for their services, they're probably looking to lose weight, to feel better about themselves, to get off the diet roller coaster, things like that. They're not going to be using at the beginning necessarily the words intuitive eating. They're not necessarily going to be using the hashtag HAES, health at every size, things like that. So when you're putting your content out there, yes, you can add some of that into it, but you have to add in the words your ideal client's going to be using as well. You'll teach them and change how they think about it, but you have to play the game and put yourself in their shoes. That's a big part of this. So don't ever forget that aspect of it. Hashtags are really a label for content. I look at them as a keyword as well. On social media, they're a word with the pound symbol in front of it, and they become a link. So on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, if you click on it, you'll actually pull up a feed off the internet of any content on those systems with that hashtag in it. So they're a good way to do research and find out what some of your clients are talking about and the words that they're using. But by adding hashtags and keywords into your content, you're actually making your content more discoverable by your ideal clients, by people looking online for people or solutions to help them with whatever problem that they have. So when we look at, if you want to pull out your handout here, this is your action step number 1. So for creating effective marketing content, you have to decide that your content has a purpose or a goal. What is it going to do? Are you going to try to teach somebody something? Are you going to try to send them somewhere to your website? Are you going to just try to engage with them? What piece of it are you doing with that content? And make sure that you include keywords and hashtags in it so that you can ensure, and I just found my first typo in here, and so that you can ensure that what you're putting out there is getting the opportunity to be discovered by others looking for your help. Okay, so this is what you've got when you're looking at your action step 1 here. So you want to stop doing the random content and start being a little more specific about it. The second C of creating content that converts is calling people to action and moving them through your marketing funnel. Now, when we talk about a marketing funnel, people often get confused with this. So I want you to understand just really briefly what a marketing funnel is. It's really a path that you're going to plan for them to take from coming where they may not know about your business at all to actually becoming a client on the bottom end. And it typically looks something like this. You'll get website into your traffic into your website. Maybe somebody lands on your lead generation page where they can sign up for your freebie, for your lead magnet. You might send them to a thank you page. Then you're going to send them an email and give them that lead magnet out there and maybe nurture them a bit with a few more emails. You're going to make an offer at some point to them, and then the sale is going to happen. And it's in this inverted one because, there's more people up at the top of your funnel, and you kind of narrow it all down as they go through your funnel. So this is something that's really key for you to understand, like what your marketing funnel is. And you want to be planning content that really drives them to the top of your funnel and then through it. Okay. So when we talk about this kind of content, we're talking about having a couple things in place to make this work. Ideally, a lead magnet is going to help you. And I know not everybody has a lead magnet, especially if you're starting out in business. But it is critical that one way or another, you have something that will entice people to test something out with you, to try that freebie. You want to make sure that the content you're putting out there have calls to action. You want to have them peppered into a lot of what you're doing out there. So if you're going to post on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn, you don't want to post all happy-go-lucky stuff all the time, fun and happy photos, unless that's what your business is. At some point in there, you're going to have to send people to your website, and you're going to have to tell them about your lead magnet, and you're going to have to make a call to action for them to read a blog post where maybe you have an action on there for them to sign up for your lead magnet. So you have to be directing people to your funnel with the content that you create. So when I talked before about business, which is typically teaching, that amplifying content, converting is sales content. So you want that content that's going to make them do something. And then engage is the other one. That's where you're going to be connecting and engaging with people. So your content has to do all of this, and having a lead magnet will really help you do this a lot easier, because you'll have the opportunity to send people somewhere free versus always trying to send them somewhere where they have to turn over money and pay and sign up for something. That's not always going to work. If you sent 100 people to a page where they could buy your $500 service, or if you sent 100 people to a page where they could get something free, you are going to convert more people to that free page first. And then you have them in your community and you're able to engage with them there. That's the best way to work with your content marketing. Lead magnets will help you do that. And so a good lead magnet is usually something your ideal client needs. It will solve a problem for them, and it's good enough and enticing enough for them to want to give you their name and email. That's a key part about a lead magnet here. So who's got lead magnets or not here? Just put a 1 in the chat if you've got them and a 2 if you don't. I just want to get an idea who's got some here. All right. All right. Ones, twos. I think more ones. So then let me ask you another question. How many of you continuously and regularly promote your lead magnet on social media? A 1 for a yes and a 2 for a no. no. Yeah. So you're actually missing out. That's that putting a call to action in your content. You've got to be the one out there telling people to go to your website and your lead generation page and sign up for that lead magnet. It's critical. If you're not telling them about it, nobody else is going to be. So that lead magnet, ideally, you want to create it in a way that it's really enticing for your ideal client. So going back to creating effective content, you need to have these match together. They play the game together, and they're all about connecting those dots. The calls to action you're going to put in there, most of the time you're going to want to send people to your lead magnet or potentially a blog post that has a call to action to a lead magnet. There are other calls to action you can have: book a consult, apply for a program, get a coupon code, which is really good for brick and mortar stores or shops online, taking a quiz, visit and watch a YouTube video. There's lots of things that you can do, but the best one for you is really having a lead magnet so that you can build your own email marketing list, which really is an asset in your business. It's huge to have people signing up and getting on your list. So everything you do when you're looking at that content has to direct people to and through your marketing funnel. This is crucial to building that traffic and building those leads, okay? So when you want to look at your action step here for C number 2 of content that converts, you want to have a marketing funnel planned out with a lead magnet that appeals to your ideal client, and you want to have a plan to move people to and through that funnel with a variety of calls to action. So it shouldn't all be about that. That's why I like to have a call to action on a blog, because then you can go on social media, tell them to read your blog where your lead magnet is. But you can also post on social media and tell them about your lead magnet directly. So that's all how it all works together. And that then takes you to the next step. You've got these leads and you've got this community. Now you want to communicate to them and nurture them. And you're going to do that typically in one of a couple ways. Number one, you're going to start by creating consistent new content on your website. Part of that funnel you can send people to. You do want to have an email marketing setup and a plan to nurture those people that sign up. So you don't want to get them all signing up and never ever email them again. You want to have a plan for what you're going to do there. And you want to have a consistent social media presence so that you can be engaging with people. So the new content, mostly what you're going to find is that you're creating blog content. If you're doing a podcast, it'll be those show notes pages out there. A new page on your website is content, but you're not going to create a new website page every time. That's why people blog. And I do say weekly here for consistent, but I will say it's better to be consistent over quality. So if for you, once a month, once every 2 months, once a quarter is really my maximum here, okay? I would love to say start at monthly and aim for weekly. I know that's hard for people, especially when you don't think you can write or it's a struggle to write. But if you can be very consistent in it, then the whole thing becomes a system. It's actually what I teach in the Content Marketing Masters Academy, is how to create one piece of content and use it every week or every cycle for the basis of all the marketing content that you put out there. Gives you a consistent message, that new content on your website, and something to talk about with what you do. So making sure that you're putting it out consistently and then having a plan to nurture the people on your email list. And that might be a weekly newsletter, it might be a podcast email to tell them you have a podcast episode, maybe have special events if you do lives on Facebook or something like that. Anything you can do to follow up with people and tell them what you're doing, it's going to help engage them. It's going to build that know, like, and trust factor. And it's going to be crucial to building that audience who gets to know you and understand what you have to offer. Some of you might be meeting me for the first time today. Some of you have been on my email list for a while and you know about me. You know that I've got Pepper. I'll show for those who were here a little late. She's over there on my chair having her snooze. You know I have this dog, Pepper. You probably know that she's the one in the picture here. That's the back of her. It's exactly what she looks like. You might know I have an obsession with Kevin Costner and have issues cooking in the kitchen. It's all about that, is really building that know, like, and trust. And it really does help solidify those types of relationships so that you can let people trust you to help them with the problem that they probably came to you for in the first place. Getting active on social media and putting content out there and networking to engage with people is going to be another part of this third C of creating content that converts. You might not think about it, but just you engaging and posting content and comments in Facebook groups, that's actually creating content as you go. It's more that random content, the spontaneous content, but it actually has a purpose when you're over there. It has a purpose of engaging with people that might be part of your community. Maybe they're peers and role models, maybe they're potential clients, but you want to have time that you spend and content that you put out online that has a purpose of engaging people so they get to know you. So those are the three kinds of ways that you do that. And when you're talking about active, it's actually interesting because active can be the engaging and getting out there, but it also is part of the planned content. So when you plan your content to go out there, so I plan my Instagram posts to go out at a certain time of the day. Then I get online on Instagram around that same time and do some engaging. It actually helps boost the reach of the content that I had pre-planned and scheduled. So working with all of that is key, and getting out there and talking to people is a big part of making your online marketing work. I built my entire business by networking online with people when I started 13 years ago. And I continue to do it to this day because I've met a lot of people online who I have taken different steps with some of them. Sometimes it's just to engage. Sometimes there's another purpose. Sometimes this relationship leads to another one. Being part of the virtual assistant community actually led to a reach out call from Bob Proctor, who's one of the developers of the movie The Secret, and becoming an expert to work with his clients for several years. So all these different ways of engaging and getting online are going to come back and pay back to you at some point out there. So I want you to remember that as we go through this. And that is your third action step, is to communicate consistently. So have a plan for sharing weekly content. You can change that to monthly right now if you need to, of value to your community. So you want to put some of that on your website, you want to get on social media, and then you want to nurture and engage people along the way. Does that one make sense to people? I know sometimes I lose you at the communicate consistently area here. Let me know if that's clear in the chat, if you would. Love it. Okay, thanks, Gina. All right, Catherine. Awesome way to spell Catherine, by the way, Catherine. I'm just saying. Okay, perfect. So when you look back at all of these are the 3 C's of creating content that converts to customers. You have to create content that is effective content. You need to call people to action. And then you need to communicate consistently. And when you have content that's going out there online like this, that is part of directing people back to your website content so that the search engines will start seeing this activity and recognizing you've got traffic on your website, they're staying on your website, they're looking around on your website. It's all going to come back and boost your entire online presence to help you get more results from your marketing. But mostly I will tell you, when I look at these 3 different things, and whenever I do an assessment with somebody for their website or their online marketing, like I said, more often than not, it's totally out of balance. They're either all one way or all the other way, and neither way helps. You really need to have a balanced presence online to make that work. So who's ready to make some of these changes? Do you guys feel that those are, I know I said at the beginning, actionable steps. Do you feel that it is something that you can handle doing and that you can make a couple of these changes? I know there's probably going to be foundational changes you need. Like you might not have a lead magnet, or you might not have some of the basics or the blog or know how to blog at this point. But understanding it all, it makes sense is what I want to know here. And I'll just give you a little good quote that I like to share. As I'm going to have a little sip here. All right, Laura, Barbara, perfect sense. On the wagon. Excellent. Catherine needs to have a better plan moving forward. Awesome. And it is hard, like it can be really hard to do with this, but I'm going to give you that marketing tip sheet in a few minutes. So make sure you stick around for that because that is crucial. Oh, Marlene's working on a lead magnet right now. Awesome. Awesome. So, and this is the big thing that happens with online marketing is it's really hard to get going through there, and most people run into a roadblock. So if you think you've got a roadblock here, I'd love for you to post in the chat what you think is going to stop you from moving to that next step. And I'm going to guess, usually there's lots of different ones. People aren't sure how to write or to create content, different things like that. I'll be honest, the writing thing I know is an issue. A lot of people struggle with the writing. I'm a dietitian, I don't write. I'm a virtual assistant, I don't write. But I do feel that a lot of the time, it's just a matter of learning how to put things in, I say, take the brilliance out of your head and learn how to put them into words. It's something I teach people how to do, is how to create their marketing content like that. But it can be easy. So I just don't want you to get stuck and frozen, because usually people will do one of three things to get help. You're either going to work hard on your own, take way too much time, and more often than not, you give up. A lot of people will sign up for a self-study course or a quick win course or something like that, and then get stuck with it and typically get frozen as well. And I see that here. Knowing what to write is a struggle. Writing isn't my thing. I can write. It's a techie. So there's lots of different roadblocks out there. I like to look, when I'm looking to get help for my own business, I'm typically looking for combo programs. So something that might have training and then coaching going with it. And that's the kind of programs that I have. And I'm going to take just a minute here and introduce to you a little bit more about my new Content Marketing Masters Academy program. And so this is a program that I ran last year. It was originally an upgrade from a program I had called Business Blogging Made Easy. And then people that were taking the course wanted more. They wanted to know, how do I take that and do more with it? And what do I need before? So I've actually created an all-encompassing 6-month program that has lessons in it, and time with me on group coaching calls, and time with me inside a Facebook group as well, to help you get through all of these different steps, from the very beginning of, setting up Google Analytics, learning how to read those reports, knowing your client. All these different aspects are part of the Content Marketing Masters Academy. And that's a big part of making sure that the students in the program come out of it with help and out of it with the confidence to do their own marketing. Here's a couple testimonials from some of my clients, but I have to tell you, one of the best ones I ever got was this email from Gail one time. And she said, the course that she took from me seems to be more powerful on her resume than her master's degree. I mean, that to me is the best kind of compliment I could get. And so when I created this course, and when I up-leveled it last year, and then I've changed it a little bit more this year and added some different modules based on feedback from the students, it really is something that I feel is the best way for any business owner to learn all the different steps that you need to creating the content, measuring the content, tracking the content, publishing it, and getting it out there, and then reviewing and redoing it to keep making sure that you're doing your marketing in a way that not only saves you time, it's effective and gets you the results, but it's not taking over your life, and instead it's helping your business and boosting your business along. I see somebody saying they need someone to help all the details and posting stuff and hire VAs. VAs rock. VAs can rule the world, I tell you, and they're really good at helping support business owners like you. So just to give you a quick overview of what the 15 modules are, and typically people going through this program now, you're going to spend the first 3 months doing the training and some implementing, and then I'm here for you with the last 3 months of the program to help you along as you're putting it all into action, so that when you're done after the 6 months, you totally understand how my whole 7-step system of marketing and content marketing can work for you and your business. So you're doing that kind of thing where I tell people, you can do social media for your business in 15 minutes a day type of thing. So that's one of the things that happens to people when they go through this. So we do cover the big picture of online marketing and knowing your ideal client. These are key areas in creating your content. And as you know from the first C of the content today, creating effective content, speaking to that ideal client is critical. Knowing what to track and setting goals is important as well. And in modules 3 and 4, one of the things I do is I walk you through setting up your analytics if you need to do that, and reading them so that you understand and know how to take that information to improve and do better with what you're doing with your marketing of your business. We also start talking about knowing your offer so you can tell people what you have to offer and they understand what it is you do and how you help others. Creating that lead magnet is important. This is something new I've added into the program, these two sections, because it came clear to me the last time we ran it, really having these two down pat is going to be critical for your long-term success in making this work as well. Having a content marketing plan. So this is key. We will get into creating an actual overall plan for you and your business, which is the best way to keep you on track with everything and saves you the most amount of time by planning and preparing. And module 8 is all about creating content for blogs and newsletters and knowing what's a little bit different about each. And this is where we get into learning how to write content and take that brilliance out of your head and put it into the written word that you can share online. We look at content for podcasts because they're a little bit different when you're marketing those. We look at website content like blogs and podcasts and SEO and how you format things online so that people will consume it more, read it more, stay on your website longer, and that's just going to help the search engines love you more as well. We also learn to create content for social media and what's different about the different channels and some of the things that you need to add into it to make it do more than just putting some words together. We look at using and following my art of assembly line scheduling to help you save time scheduling content so that you can get on there and do some networking with it as well afterwards. And then near the end of the program, it's all about how to use the tracking that you set up and how to use all of that you set up to look at your results, measure what's going on, and know what you need to do to improve and optimize to do better the next time. And then at the very end, I get into showing you my 7-step content marketing system, which is something I've been doing for years. I have an entire process that I created that's all about planning, scheduling, creating time, blocking it, and creating one piece of content to use in 21 different ways, if you want to use it up to 21 different ways. But it's more about using it in a continual process so that you're not creating so much extra content than you need. You create one main article and you repurpose it in many ways. So there's about 20 hours of video in the program. And I have to say that I've had a few different people in it. I've had some virtual assistants in it. I've had some coaches, dietitians, and lots of people had various backgrounds coming into it. But ultimately, what they really learn to do is fully understand their marketing so that they can make sure they know how to put it all in play and get it out there. A lot of people are their own marketers, so they have the hat that they wear in their business of doing their marketing. So this really gets down into how you do it so that you can do it with confidence and ease. And really, I just want to make sure that you don't forget that, failure, if you've been struggling with it at this point, it will just really, I find, be the pushing point to get you to continue to do more. But I want to keep helping people. So I do have some bonuses that are happening before this next registration group starts on March 1st. One of them is when you pay in full for the program, you'll get a free 30-minute session with me to use for whatever you're looking for. And then everybody who signs up before March 1st also gets a blog setup review by me. So I will go, you'll share your blog with me. I will go and do a video review, and you get to keep that video with the action steps of what to do and take to make sure your blog set up in a way to optimize your marketing. Everybody will also get my annual content planner. This is what we work on in the content planning module, and it's what you'll take and use to build your content marketing plan. I also do, and this is new as well this year, I'll be doing a review of an article you write. So once you've created a piece of content, I will do a video review and give you feedback, whether it's for a newsletter, a blog, or a podcast, so that you know that you're on the right step to making sure that it is optimized for you out there and that you're putting everything into play that you need to with it. So those are all the bonuses that I have that go with that. But I did also want to offer for everybody that's here on the webinar and is taking the time to come to this masterclass and sit with me for this hour and learn and ask questions here in a minute. I do have an extra bonus as well. If you register by midnight tonight for the program And that can be whether you register for the pay in full or for the 6 payment plan that I do have. You'll get a 30-minute strategy session with me. So if you pay in full, you get one of these. If you register today, you'll get one of these as well. So that is something, just extra one-on-ones with me that you can use for whatever you want to make sure that you can get a boost with your own marketing. And then I made this booster bonus that I call it. And I did this one because the last time we ran through the program, I realized a lot of people didn't really have their social media profiles optimized as much as they could to help people find them and their business online. So this was created specifically for me to be able to go in and review up to 5 of your social media profiles. So if you have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, I'll go into all of those, do a video review, and give you the steps that you need to optimize them to help people find you in your business online. Now, this one, you do have to register for the Content Marketing Masters Academy by Monday night at midnight for this bonus. So all told, we've got a bonus here of about just over $1,000 of whether it's extra programs with me or specific video reviews of your setup or one-on-one sessions with me as well. This is what the whole program includes. So it's 6 monthly sessions with me, a Facebook group. I have tons of checklists, handouts, templates, all sorts of stuff for you to use along the way to help you get your answers so that you can be planning your content in the best way possible. And the fee for the program, it is 6 months, so it's $14.97, or you can do the 6 payment plan of $297 as well. And with the full pay, as I mentioned earlier, you do get that extra bonus session with me too. So I just want to say thank you and for letting me tell you about the program, for being here for the call. And then I would love to be somebody that helps you achieve one of these success stories. Some of these are really awesome. You know, I've had one client, you know, she sold a 50-person workshop for a 2-hour workshop. And part of what I did with her and helped her plan out is how she got that success that she had with that. And one of my success stories is somebody who had an 8-person workshop she wanted to fill. And we did that in 2 weeks by following what I told her to do with some online content and marketing. So if you're looking for help with your marketing and you want to get more with your business, I would love to be the one to help you do that. And you can get all the details at peppermarketing.com/CMMA. But when we send out a replay of today's session tonight by email, we'll give you some links to that as well. So I just want to move on here. Now I'm just looking where I'm at on all of this. Oh, you guys are welcome. I'm glad it was helpful for you. And I have to leave you with, so I'm going to give my bonus marketing tip sheet away. And the reason I do this bonus marketing tip sheet is because Kevin is really the only person that can build it and they will come. The rest of us have to do our content marketing and do all of that work to get out there and make it all happen. So Natasha is going to put the handout, the tip sheet there, link in the chat. Now you will want to get this now. This is a bonus that I give only to folks who show up live. So this does not come back out in the email. This is my thank you for you showing up here and coming to the session. And I'll give you an idea of what this is. So it is really a marketing basics checklist, okay? It will walk you through some questions to look at on your website, on your marketing content, on your email marketing, on your lead magnet, on your lead generation page, which is the page where people can sign up for your lead magnet. Okay. And then all of your marketing plans, some online, offline type of thing, and a couple extra tips. So that's what I wanted to give you all for spending some time here with me today. And I will tell you that the bonus tip and tactic that I wanted to share with you, you've heard me talk about it several times in this presentation already. It is really and truly creating a content marketing plan. I cannot tell you how important that is to saving time and creating content, less content typically, that you can repurpose and use over and over again. And it's content that will get you results. When I talk about the results that we do with my clients that I've shared on those screens, we don't do Facebook ads. I don't teach Facebook ads. I don't teach how to do this with ads. Everything I've done and taught and with my own business for building things up with my one-on-one clients is all with organic marketing content. Okay, so that is what is critical for all of you to know. Making that plan is the biggest way you are going to save time and money in your business. And when you're in business as a service-based business owner, those are your biggest assets. Somebody's saying the screen's frozen. Are you guys all seeing the screen with my little clock and a piggy bank? Okay, perfect. We're going to keep on moving. So this is a little picture of my content planner, and that is what I'm going to give away today on the call. And Natasha is in the back end here, my VA, and she is going to draw one of the names from you guys here, and we're going to send you a coupon code to win this. So this actually comes with, it's a spreadsheet with an entire year of content. There's 500 pieces of content you could copy, paste, and use as your own. There's also a video lesson 1 hour long that goes through the different types of content you should be putting out there, how to mix it, how to put it all into play. And so Natasha, if you want to share whoever you drew, maybe you're just drawing now. I'm going to have a sip of water here.
Go for it. So the winner for the free marketing content planner is Laura Tolosi. I hope
Laura.
Laura, yeah.
Awesome. Laura Tolosi. All right, Laura. So Laura, we will get you a special link. I'll send you a special link that you can get that for free. And if anybody is interested in looking at that, you can find it on my website. It's pepperatmarketing.com/planner. It is something you get in the Content Marketing Masters Academy as well. So it is part of all of that. And I guess my biggest advice would be just make sure that you're doing your marketing for your business. We all have to be sales and marketing for our business. Don't let fear stop you. Don't be scared to get out there. If I can do it, and I'm somebody who used to pass out when I had to talk in front of people in English class. So if I can get out there and talk in front of people, you guys can do it too. I know you can. Put those 3 C's into what you're doing. Put those action steps into place. Whoops, my mouse has gone crazy here. And you will see some changes and some results. I promise you. So I'm going to go now to Q&A. And I know, Natasha, I think you were collecting questions along the way there.
Yeah, we have a couple
and
questions.
then if anybody has any questions as well, you can post them in the chat and we will address them for you.
Just pull up the right sheet. Kathy had a question earlier asking, what if you don't have a website yet? What can you do now?
Okay, so here's the thing with that, Kathy. You want to be careful in some ways. I really would love you to have a website, but there are a lot of people that will start out. And I know when I started, I was bootstrapping it too. So I did not have a website at the beginning. I got it fairly fast because a website is a business asset for you. So there are definitely some easy to build websites that you can do. That's how I started. And then when I got more confident, had some more resources, more ability, then I got into getting another website. So looking at that, if you don't have one, I highly recommend you have a LinkedIn presence and a Facebook page, probably, because they have some search engine benefits to having them as well. So it at least go with that, okay? You can do the same with Instagram, Twitter, really go on the channels where your ideal client would be hanging out. But if you can get to a place where you can get a site up sooner rather than later, you should be doing that, because when you're in business, a website, if you have a virtual type of business or an online business, is really like your storefront. Your internet is like your lease. Your programs that you might need, like your email marketing program, is like leasing your business storefront out. So you really want to get into that mindset of having the business and getting the business up and running. So temporarily, LinkedIn for sure, Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, whatever one people might be using on there and being connecting on where your ideal client is, but aim for that goal of getting a website up as soon as you can. What kind of business do you have, Kathy? Catherine, is it Kathy or Catherine?
That one was from Kathy.
Okay. If you can let me know what type of business you have, I might have another resource for you too. So we'll go to another question. Kathy can put that in the chat.
We have a question now from Catherine. Asks, how do you recommend starting to nurture your email list audience when you have not sent anything to them in over a year?
So first thing that I would say is just start emailing them. They may not have forgotten, you forgot, but they may not have, okay? You can, if you've made a big shift in business, then you want to announce that because you may no longer have ideal clients on your email list. But I would really just don't stress about it. A lot of people stress about this. Just put something out there and let them know what's going on. Share some news, big news. A great subject line that gets good open rates out there is special news, or some exciting news or some big news from us. Just get out there and do it. And don't let that hold you back, because the reality is you know more about the fact that you haven't been emailing them for a year than anybody else does. And they're really going to be, they're not going to judge you in the way that you're probably thinking that they might. But my only qualifier is if you are in a totally different area now, you need to let them know what's new and different about you, because they may no longer be an ideal client. And Kathy, so I hope that helps, Catherine. Kathy followed up with, she's a virtual assistant with a specialty in getting publicity for clients. So Kathy, what I would recommend to you, and I don't know if, whoops, holy cow, I really blew that up, didn't I? Hold on a second. I was just trying to scroll through the notes here, or the participants. A good friend of mine is Tanya Sutherland at vanetworking.com. And I know, or I think still part of her membership, number one, you get into a system where people can put RFPs there. Yeah, a couple other people know Tanya, but she also has a deal as part of one of her memberships, and I'm not sure which one it is, so you can go and check it out. They put up a basic website for you. So that could be your best answer to get that out there. That's why I wanted to know what industry you were in. That could be very important for that aspect as well. Yeah, and yes, and Linda McLean is on here from McLean International, and she's looking for an online marketing VA for all of you VAs out there. If you go to her website, Linda, I don't know if you have the link there. You know what, you guys, I'll put it, yes. Okay, so Natasha's putting on Tanya's website, and I will post on my Facebook page, you guys, after this. So if you're one of the VAs that are here, you're an online marketing specialist. I know Linda's looking for someone with expertise in Aweber. I will put on my Facebook page, I'll share her VA posting because she is looking for an online VA. And Natasha shared Tanya's website for the VA membership that I said. And again, I'm not sure, Kathy, which way she has that option for the website, but I know it is part of one of her membership things, and it's worth getting for sure. All right, Natasha, totally derailed there. What other questions do we have?
So Catherine had a follow-up question from her earlier question about nurturing her email list.
Follow up away.
So how do you address when you have two different types of audiences in your list?
Okay, so then you definitely need to be segmenting them, okay? So I don't know what email marketing system.
She says she uses MailChimp. And
is it the free version?
Maybe Catherine, you can post that in the chat. I believe she's also looking maybe where the best spot is to find someone to help with segmenting and all of
right.
that.
So here's the thing. What you want to make sure you're doing is that you have tags. I'm going to just say tags because that's the easiest way, so that you know that you've got audience 1 and audience 2. And what that may mean is that an email you send to audience 1, if it's really different than audience 2, then you may need to send 2 emails. Okay. It would really depend on what your content is and what you sell and what your services are, how you would do that. Sometimes you can have, I have a dietitian that I work with who works with intuitive eating, and she does nutrition for menopause in specific. And that's a very targeted audience. But then she also has an audience that's in eating disorder recovery. So they're very different, and what they would need is very different. She puts out a newsletter that speaks to the nutrition for menopause group, but she also includes tips on meal planning and recipes for recovery and things like that. So it's not that it's totally different. And so she has a really good way of working it in together. So that's one way to do it as well. It really depends, Catherine, on how different the audiences are, and if your system will allow you to tag them like that so that you can, if you need to, send audience 1 and audience 2 totally different things. MailChimp can be tricky with that because of their limitations, especially in their free account. One of the reasons why I love ConvertKit more than any other email system is it's pretty good low price. And it also has really easy ways to do tagging and segmenting so that you're not sending different people the wrong kind of content, which is important when you're nurturing them, 100%.
Awesome.
So I know we're at the little bit 5 after there, you guys. I'm happy to stay for another 5 minutes or so and answer questions for sure.
Trina has a question about your program.
Okay.
She asks, how much time would I need to spend on the material each week?
Okay. So there are 15 lessons. They get dripped out 1 a week. When you start, the first 2 lessons are there and available. So for the people that signed up this week, you've got 2 lessons to start with there. I typically tell people to budget for about 2 hours a week. And probably 2 to 3 if you're going to do some implementing from the lessons. Okay. Ideally, the way I would see most of the people in the program working is you're going to do a lot of the learning and the training for the first half. And then the second half, you'll be spending more time doing your implementing and making your marketing happen. And that's where I'm there to help you in both sides, setting up, learning, as well as making it happen. So if you're someone who is going to take action right away and follow the lessons and put them into play, you're probably going to spend another 1 or 2 hours. Most lessons are about an hour long. There's a couple that go over, there's some that go under, there's some that may not be relevant for some people. Like if you don't have a podcast, you're probably not going to look at all of that content. There's some tips on being a guest. But what I would say is it really depends on how fast you want to implement and put everything into action. And they're done and dripped out that way because you really need to know each step before you head to the next one. So short answer would be 2 hours a week, maybe 3 if you're going to do some of the work too.
Awesome. There is a question from Patricia. Yeah. Asks on the strategy sessions for the bonus items, what do you cover in those sessions?
So Patricia, that's great, Jennifer. Thanks. See you later. That really depends on you. So they can be for whatever you want. There's no restriction to them. They're 30 minutes. You can, if you get 2, like if you do the pay in full and you sign up today, you can do 1 hour, you can do 2 30 minutes. You have the whole 6 months to do that in, so you can get things going and then book the call, or you can book the call at the beginning to figure out what you need to do to get things going. But it's really up to you. They're for you for whatever you need. Thanks, Marcia.
Awesome. Catherine has a question. Can you sign up but delay the start? What if you have other courses you are in now and know you can't start right now?
If with a late, what was it?
Like, can you sign up for the program but start a little bit later because she has other courses she's doing right now?
Yeah, 100%. So Catherine, you can sign up. Registration is really closing on the 1st of March. But that's really for these bonuses that I was doing as I'm launching through the master classes here. So you can, it runs from March to the end of August. So it does finish at the end of August. You can start up, like register now, get the bonuses, and then start at your own pace. There really are only, so 2 lessons are ready. So 13 lessons, it's 13 weeks, 1 week at a time, which is about half of the 6 months time. So if you have something you're finishing off now, I mean, you can go at it at your own pace 100%. If you don't want to start doing any of the training for 2 months, you don't have to. The thing that you would miss out on if you waited till after to register is time in the group calls, because the first group call that we're doing is March 11th, I believe, on a Thursday. So you don't really want to miss those group calls because that's your time to get whatever you need, hot seat coaching, advice, guidance, direction on what you were learning. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to do the lessons right there, right away. Hopefully that answered that question.
Perfect. There's also one question from Colby. With the Content Masters program, how long are the lessons in the modules?
A lot of them, I think I just mentioned a little bit earlier, there's a couple lessons that have about 45 minutes and they're shorter, like they're not all 45 minutes long. They're broken down into a few, smaller pieces. So you can go through it that way. There are a couple that are about an hour and a half, but most of them at the most, they're, on average 45 minutes to an hour for what's in them. Okay, perfect. So I think that's all the questions, Natasha. I think we got all the ones in the chat. So I will, just so you guys know, I'm going to write my little self homework. I will put that link to that virtual assistant opening that Linda has there on my Facebook page. So that's facebook.com/pepperatmarketing if you want to find that afterwards. And again, thank you everybody for coming here, for taking part in this, for listening to me teach you. I hope you can go off and put some of those action steps into play right away. And please follow me on Instagram or Facebook and let me know when you've done that and put something together and share, what success you've had with it or not. And if you're interested in joining the Content Marketing Masters Academy, I'd love to have you in there. If you're not sure if it's for you, you can definitely book a free 15-minute call with me. Natasha, I didn't give you the link to that to share, but we'll put it, I think it's on the replay page. I'll put it on there as well. So we'll send you an email out after we convert the video here with the replay to that, and you'll get all that information there. But definitely, if you do have a question you want to ask about it, reach out to me and I will 100%, book a call with you and we can talk about what you need and see if it's a fit for you or not. Okay, so thanks again, everybody, for being here. I hope you have a good day. And if you're in any of the power affected or snow affected areas or cold affected areas in the world right now, I hope it's going well for you. I know we're used to it here in Nova Scotia, but I know not everybody is, and it can be challenging to do that kind of go through all of that, and with the trying to run your own business and keep things going for yourself. So thanks again, and thanks for all the kind words I'm seeing here running through the chat. I appreciate that, everybody, and have a fabulous day.